Hello, welcome to the Ross School for Math, Computer Science, and Ministry. This is our video for first-time programmers who are learning how to make their first website. In this video, we're only going to use HTML and a little CSS. Let's start by making a folder to hold all of our files. Go to your desktop, right-click, and look for a new folder. Let's name this folder My First Website. Here, we're going to store all of our HTML files and pictures and so forth. Now, you want to go to a place where you can actually enter the code. You can use Notepad, which is on your computer, or you can go to your favorite website that allows you to enter code. I'm going to use CodePen.io. I use that a lot. So, I'm going to go to CodePen. I'm going to create a new pen. This will allow me to create HTML, CSS, or Java. I can transfer that into a local drive on my computer using Notepad. HTML is really easy. It has lots of tags. So let's start with our first tag. On the top of every HTML page, you should have the tag doctype HTML. So I'm going to type it in here. This tells the computer and anyone else who sees your work that this is an HTML file. The second tag you're going to type is just the HTML tag. So HTML. Whenever you open a tag, you want to close it. So I'm going to close the HTML tag by hitting \HTML. Now in between there, I want to put some things. So I'm going to add a little space. From there, I'm going to add a header. So I'm going to tag head. And then I want to close the header. So close the header. I'm going to put some space in between that. Probably use some words. And after the header, I want the body. So I'm going to tag body. And then close the body. And in between the body image, you're going to have paragraphs and other things. So I have it there. So this is just a basic format that you'll start off. You're going to enter things within it. Let's enter a sentence here. I'm going to say, hello world. This is my first website. I hope you like it. You're going to see on the bottom, it shows us what we'll print. So what we're going to see is, hello world, this is my first website. I hope you like it. Now, if I want to make I hope you like it in bold, I'm just going to put a tag, B. I'm going to close it at the very end. So close B for bold. Pretty simple. Now I can see that that's been bold and dark black. We're going to use CSS later. I won't use Java at all in this program. We just focus on these first two. So I'm going to zoom in just so I can see this part for now. All right, I'm at another sentence. And my sentence is now going to say, this is for my class. And I want that, if this is for my class, in italics. So like bold would simply be, italics is simply a little I. So I'm going to open the italics, and at the end of the word class, I'm going to close it. So closed I. All right, so now you see it's all in one line. Have, hello world, this is my first website. I hope you like it. This is for a class. So maybe I wanted these other sentences to be on a second line. So I'm going to go right here. I'm going to establish a break by typing in just BR. That breaks the line. And now you'll see that it's in its own line. But suppose I wanted this to be in its own line as well. Well, I just establish another break. Or I can just close the first break. So close the break. And if I want to put some more space between them, I can just keep adding breaks. So if you just hit enter here, if you notice, it doesn't add more space between the second line and the third line. If you keep it enter all you want, it's not going to add more space between them. So to add that space between them, I would add another break. So BR. And then I can keep hitting BR. gives you another space. And the more you add a BR there, the more space you add between them. There's a third break between them. And if I want to add a fourth line, you might not see it, but keep skipping down one space at a time, further and further and further. All right? And at any point in time, you can close that break if you want. You don't have to close the break though. It's not necessary. It's generally not necessary to close the break. You can just always add a new break. All right, so let's get rid of some of these breaks. Move it all back up to the top. And I don't need this extra space between the lines either. So let's delete the extra space. Not necessary. All right, from there, let's do, make this a little bit bigger. And, all right, so I can't mention every possible tag there ever is. It's a lot of tags. I don't know how many there are, but it might be thousands of them. But we can use the most common tags. And right after our header, the first tag you start thinking about after you make your website is this meta tag. So right below my header, I'm going to type in meta and the care set equals UTF-8. UTF is a Unicode. It's a type of Unicode that everywhere in the world they can recognize these characters and they understand them as bytes. You can think of it as a type of dictionary, because computer reads in bytes, so it's kind of like a dictionary for computers. And the next tag, right after that meta tag, is the viewport tag. So we type in meta name equals viewport and then the content equals width dash width equals device dash width, the initial equals dash scale equals 1. I'll close that. This basically tells the website to respond to the device you're on, whether you're on how big the screen is, whether you're on a laptop screen, a mobile phone, a screen that is as wide as your TV, or the screen that's as wide as a Chromebook. It tells it to adjust its size depending on the screen. These are really important, and you want to add this to the top of every web page you use, or every website that you create. This is used for responsive websites, so that way your website can respond depending on the device it's on. For example, a mobile phone has a much smaller screen size than, say, a tablet or a laptop computer. And this will make it respond to that. It will resize itself according to the screen that you're using. Website today could be zoomed in and out and made bigger or smaller. We want the scale set to 1. That means that it's not zoomed in or out. That's all it means. Now after these two meta tags, the next tag, and it should not be forgotten, is a title tag. So this gives you the title of the web page. So on the top of any web page, you usually see a name. So I'm going to put in title and then close the title. And then let's call this title my first web page. And now, if you notice on the top of the screen, once we make this, it's going to have a title at the very top of the tab. And that title should be my first web page. If a website has different pages, each page can have its own title. So you can repeat this title and change it for the name of each page. Maybe home page, maybe second page, maybe bio page. All right, now let's go to the body. And we'll go down to the body portion of the page. And within the body portion of the page, we use several H tags. These H tags are basically header tags. So these H tags range from H1 to H6. All right, here's H1. I'm going to add a couple more. I'm going to see if you can recognize what each of the H tags do. So I'm going to copy this one and then just drop down some more of them. So I'm going to make this one H2. Make this one H3. H4. And I'm going to stop at H5. And in between them, H5. In between them, I'm going to add in words like hello world. I'm going to add in hello world for each one of those headlines. So headline or header 2. All right, and let's go down. Let's take a look at what it does inside the screen. Here's H1, hello world. And here's H2, hello world. H3, hello world. And I'm going to make my screen a little bigger. H4 and H5. Notice how they all are smaller and smaller subtitles. All right, that's what that tag does. The H1 to H6 just makes each of those headlines or subscripts smaller and smaller. All right, so I won't need all of those. I'm just keep this one. I'll delete the rest. All right, and the next tag we're going to look at is a paragraph tag. I'm going to take this thing we used earlier, this hello world. This is my first website. I'm going to add that into a paragraph lower on. So I'm going to cut that, and we'll go back into the body. And just after the H1 headline, I'm going to write in P for paragraph. I'm going to add this word in. I'm going to add that phrase in. And it's going to be now right below the hello world. And that's my first paragraph. All right, so instead of typing my entire website, I want some placeholders, just kind of hold space for words that I might type in later. And the easiest way that most programmers use is they go to Google and just type in lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum is Latin, and just a bunch of gibberish words in Latin. And if you go there, you just get a bunch of these gibberish words. I can just take any one of these paragraphs to just use inside of my text, inside my body for now. Just kind of hold space for my examples I'm using. So I'm going to go back here, and underneath the first paragraph, so underneath that first paragraph, I'm going to make a new paragraph. And close it. And there it is. Notice how that automatically has a break there. There's one more style tag that I did not mention, which is underline. Let's say I want to underline this phrase, simply dummy. All right, so I'm going to go back up to that phrase that says simply dummy, and right before it, if B is bold and I is italics, well, if you took a guess, U is probably what you guess underline would be. So I'm going to open the underline there. I'm going to close it here. And put a space here so it doesn't look the way it does. And you'll see now, simply dummy is now underlined in this sentence. All right, so that's all you need to know about the text. So when you make your website, that's enough to be started with your website. If you notice, there's no background color or anything like that. All right, so from there, let's give it some background color. So I'm gonna go to the CSS side. I'm gonna give it some background. So here underneath the CSS file, I'm gonna type in body and this curly bracket, enter, and see how it tabs over a little bit for me, which is good. So background dash color. I'm gonna make it red, and then close it with a colon. That doesn't look very good. It's not pretty red. So let's do some words you can just type in like red, green, blue, black, purple. Some words you might want, like I typed in light blue, but the page didn't understand light blue. So what we could do is we can Google another name for light blue as numbers and letters. So let's find out what light blue should be in CSS. So let's go to Google. Let's ask it light blue color code. And you got some color codes here. I don't know which one of these light blues I like the best. So this website, Vista, can give me some ideas of which light blue I like. So this is Serenity. This is the code for it. This is blue gray, street blue. I think Serenity might be the easiest one to look at right now. So I'm going to copy that code. It is B3CEE5. They give you a way of copying it right here. Let's go back to my code. And instead of typing in light blue, I'm going to type in that color pattern. And notice it changes to be light blue. I like that better than the red. So this is the only CSS I'm going to use in my page today. Instead of making a whole CSS file, I'm just going to copy this code. And I'm going to actually place it within my HTML. So the very bottom of all of it, or the very top, it doesn't matter where you put it, I'm going to add in style. Style means CSS. I'm going to type in the code. I'm going to close the style. So anytime you see this space here, it says style, it's telling you you just entered some CSS within your HTML, which is really awesome. So you save some files to create. You can enter the CSS within the HTML. All right, suppose I want to separate something after this paragraph that says, I hope you like it. I can just add a horizontal line there. So right above that, I can type in just a tag that says HR. HR means horizontal line. So you notice how I put this horizontal line in the middle of the page? All right, that's it. You don't have to close that tag either. It just places a horizontal line there. And it shows a page break within the page. All right, now the link tag. On most websites, you want to see things that lead you to new things. Like you may need to click a picture or click a tab that takes you out of the picture to something else. So let's make Hello World a link. All right, so in order to do that, I'm going to go back to it and I'm going to add an A tag. So just the letter A. This tells you there's a link. So I'm going to open it with A. I'm going to close it with the A. All right, so it's telling you that this is an anchor. So the A stands for anchor, meaning that's a link to something else. Within that link, I need to use href. So href is the actual link we're going to go to. So href basically means hypertext reference. So we can link it to a website outside of the page. Let's use the Google website. So I'm just going to go to Google. I'm going to copy its link. And basically, if you go to Google, right here is this link. I'm going to just copy that link. I'm going to take it back to my website. And then Control V or Command V in Apple drops it in. So now, when I click here, it's going to link me out of my page. Now, in CodePen, it doesn't link you out. But when we make it a local drive, a local document, we will. But this is now a link. It should link you to Google. But again, this is CodePen. It doesn't let you leave the website. We now made that a hyperlink. Another attribute in the A tag is target. Right now, if I click it without target, this link will open up in the current page I'm in. But a lot of times people, companies want to keep their customers on their web page, so they'd much rather that link open up a new tab, so they still have the previous page open. So instead of open up over that page, we want a new tab. So we're going to type in target equals, in quotations marks, underscore blank. All right, now when someone clicks this link, it's going to open it up in a new tab, opposed to taking over this current page. All right, that's it about how to link things within the page. One last thing is images. So I'm going to place an image right below these words. So below the word lorem ipsum, find out where that is. Right below that, I'm placing an image. So it's simply, the image tag simply img. And that's it. And just like the A tag, we need href. The image needs a source. So here's a source. So the source, our src, equals And we typically want it to be a URL or an image from our file. Let's first try with the URL. So I'm going to find an image online. So to make sure I find something safe and not crazy, I'm going to pbskids.com. And from there, I'm going to choose an image. Let's say I just want the image of PBS Kids. I could right click and I could copy the image link right here. So I can get a link to that image. And I can take that and place it into my image source. So Control V, and it links the image there. So on the bottom of the page, you see this huge PBS Kids logo. All right, but suppose I wanted an image other than something that already exists like this online. So this is what we can do now. We can save an image into our file that we created earlier at the top of the video. All right, let's delete the PBS Kids logo. And I'm gonna, so you can go away. And I'm gonna create my own image. So I'm gonna go to, I like this website called Pixels. So you can just open a new tab and you can go to pixels.com. You get lots of free images there that are not copywritten. So I'm gonna type in soup, an image of soup, and this looks delicious. All right, I like this guy better. No, I like this soup better. So I download the image. You should say thanks. And then from there is now on my downloads. So I'm gonna open it up. I don't want to keep it on these downloads though. So I want to place it inside this folder. Move this folder over so I can see it. I'm going to take this image and drop it into my folder. I'm going to need that later. Need that there later. So when I open that up, I want to copy its name. So let's see, copy the name. Then I need the whole thing copied. So now I'll go back here. I can drop in the name of the image here. And you won't see anything yet. It doesn't know what that image is yet. Once we upload the file into Netlify, or wherever we're going to place the file at, then we'll understand it. But we're ready to go. All right, so I'm going to take all of this. I'm going to copy all of this HTML from the very bottom all the way to the top. I'm going to make it into a file. So I'm going to copy it. And on my computer, I have Notepad. If you have Apple, I'm not sure what you guys have a substitute for Notepad as, but you can use lots of different things to make a file with. But I'm going to drop this into Notepad, and I'm going to change the file name. I'm going to save it as, I'm going to go to the folder they had at the beginning. So I'm going to find my folder, which is on my desktop, and it's called My First Website. And I'm going to name this index.html. Every website should have the name index.html in Netlify. And it's just good practice to call the website HTML file index.html. So there it is. And now that we have this, we have the website. So if I actually go there and I open up that link, this is what it should look like. So I'm going to go to my desktop. If I click here, it should open it up. I should see it. There it is. But that image is huge. Look at this image. It's so big. The soup is there, but it's really big. So let's do one edit to it. Let's go back to our original. Let's go back to where we actually wrote the code at. And let's add this. I'm going to add width equals to 300, height equals 300. That tells me 300 pixels by 300 pixels, which is a reasonable size for an image. So I'm going to add that to it. Width equals 300, height equals 300. And I'm going to go back to my image here, and right behind the source again, I'm going to copy and paste. Width equals 300, height equals 300. I'm going to hit save. All right, so now when I go back into it, and I open it up again, instead of seeing that website with the huge picture, now when I open it, the image is a lot smaller, a lot more reasonable. All right, so we now created a website. Now, it's locally on our computer. This is our local website. To post it or to host it, I'm going to go to Netlify, www.netlify, and I'm going to log in. And on Netlify, you can just, after you create an account, you can hit add a new site. And I always deploy manually. I'm going to browse my computer and upload. And I want to upload the entire folder, because that's where my images and stuff are. Yes, upload it. And there it is. So we have a link to the website here. I'm going to click on Site Overview. And there's our current link to the website. If you just click that, it opens it. I don't like the name of it though, the Relax Lolly. It just gives you a random name. So I'm going to change the name by hitting Site Settings. And I'm going to go down to change site name. I'm going to call it My First Website. And let's see if it let me save that way. All right, somebody already used that. So I'm going to call it 101. That might be used too. All right, so I got a website now. It's called My First Website 101. I'm going to click here. And now I can share this link with anybody in the world, and they'll open up My First Website. So there it is. There you have it. All right, that's all I have on creating a website with HTML and a little CSS. Good luck.